look what has returned. It's my Leica M8. Hi, and thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Furk, aka Phil, and today I want to talk a little bit about my Leica M8, which has returned recently to me. As some of you know, I got this Leica M8 a few months ago, and when I started to shoot this camera, unfortunately I discovered that this M8 specifically had some kinds of dead pixel lines in the images. You can check out that video up here in the more details. And when I was searching for a solution for this issue, I also simply just contacted the Leica support team here in Germany, and they responded to me that that can be fixed via a software update, basically by remapping the pixels of the sensors, since that might happen to camera sensors in general. So that's basically what I did, and now it's back, and I just wanted to show you what you get basically when you get a Leica camera back from service. Basically, what's my experience with the Leica customer service and how much this repair cost me in the end. And of course, I also took the first opportunity here in Germany with the first sunshine weather to take this baby out for a quick shoot. I sent this Leica M8 basically last year in August to Wetzlar, and upfront they already told me that the estimated time of this repair might take up to 6 months, and they basically had a whole list about the estimated repair time for different Leica cameras, like digital M's, SL cameras, Q cameras, or film cameras. Specifically, the film cameras had a waiting list of up to 12 months. Being aware about that, I still wanted to get the repair and asked for the estimated price. And back then they quoted me about $200, which was fine for me based on this Leica M8, which is in great condition. As you can see, it has just very small used marks, and in general it's in very good condition in my opinion. Yeah, when I agreed to that quote, I basically just sent it in, and then yeah, you could say that I basically never heard anything again up until the day I got the message was in the process of repairing, and that was the beginning of January. So basically I waited 4 or 5 months without any update news about my M8, and yeah, in January, as I mentioned, they sent me an email saying that the camera is right now in the process of repair. A few days later they already confirmed me that the repair has been done and was ready for shipping. So I got my M8 back into my hands. It was about January, mid-January. I was very happy to have the camera back, but because of the flu season I didn't have any chance to take this out for a quick shoot and test it. But now I finally had some time to give this a little bit of a test drive, but more on that later. What I also want to share with you is what you basically get. You saw already in that kind of unboxing. I unboxed the camera already in January. When you send your Leica camera to Wetzlar or to Leica, I sent my camera just in an ordinary box and also in a plastic bag. They asked me to remove the battery, and they asked for example photos to showcase my pixel issue. Therefore I sent in also a SD card, and as you might recognize but didn't notice that I have here a lens cap which just displays Leica, and that was the first pleasant surprise, to be honest, for me. Why? Because when I sent it in, I just had this no-name, an unbranded lens cap, which they did include in the return of my camera, but they put on original Leica lens cap free of charge, you could say, and that was a quite nice detail in my opinion, that I got now an original Leica lens cap for my M8. That was a nice touch. And also, as you saw in the unboxing, it was put into this small little bag, also branded in Leica, which is quite nice. And it came in this, Leica users might recognize these. That's basically the Leica box Leica sends out for cameras which have been serviced, and it has a nice pattern here. It's well secured. Within the box you see here, that's a certificate of the customer service or customer care, and that's also the second, you could say a surprise or pleasant surprise, because I didn't know that. And that basically my Leica M8 has been now officially serviced, and the serial number and the date, and of course the name of the technician has been written down in this certificate. Just having an official Leica certificate that my M8 was in service with the date of 2025, I assume that just pushes the value of this camera, in case I would sell it, higher. But for now I don't plan to sell this, because it's finally back. Today I'm shooting the M8 with this 28mm 2.8 Vogtländer color scoper, which makes it roughly, I think, 37mm full frame equivalent focal length. As you can see, I have right now a filter on the Leica M8, or better to say on the lens itself. And this filter, as many of you know, is necessary to get accurate colors on the Leica M8, because the infrared filter is too weak, or infrared IR cut filter is necessary for the M8. Otherwise your colors won't be correct for the Leica M8. Look how well this just matches. In my opinion, this is just beautiful. But despite the great aesthetics, in my opinion, this camera is definitely very slow. I basically forgot how slow it is after sending it to Wetzlar, because in my opinion this camera is even kind of slower compared to my Leica film cameras, like the M3 or my Leica MP. This camera definitely slows you down, since you have to wait after every exposure. Sometimes I have the feeling that I'm able to fire more shots quicker on my film cameras, but that's perhaps also just my imagination. The camera also takes a while to clear the buffer. Back then when I got this M8, I also just tried it out of fun. If I can reload my Leica film camera quicker, then this buffer clears up. The second lens I recently also acquired and now also find it quite nice on the Leica M8 is this Nocturne 40mm 2.8. A lot of my viewers has recommended me this lens specifically for the Nikon ZF, and finally I found a very nice deal on this lens. It was used but in very good in condition, in my opinion, mint condition. It's recently arrived, and if I put this lens on this camera, it also looks pretty nice in my opinion. Also 40mm 1.2. The 40mm on the Leica M8 makes it, I think, roughly 53mm full frame equivalent. When I went out shooting, it was unfortunately too bright to shoot it wide open, but I will leave you with some sample shots of the Leica M8 with this lens. Nothing special, but just to illustrate the 1.2, 1.4 shots. And since the M8 is more or less kind of a film camera, or treating it like a film camera because of the CCD sensors, and therefore you don't have that high of an ISO performance. As I said, you should treat it more or less like a film camera. Having a lens with an aperture of 1.2 or 1.4 is very useful in this regard, but nailing focus at that aperture is of course a totally different story. But if you nail it, it's quite fun. Now after going through the process of acquiring a cheap Leica digital M camera, the Leica M8 is still today the cheapest M body or digital M body you can get from Leica on the used market. And also knowing what kind of issues this camera can get or have, would I recommend the Leica M8 in 2025? In my opinion, it's a boring answer, but you might already know it. The answer is it depends. I think you have to be fully aware what kind of camera you are getting. I would definitely recommend you to get your hands onto an M8 before pulling the trigger on purchasing one. Because a lot of people, and me included, say that the Leica M8 is very slow. It slows it down in the process of taking images. These kind of statements, they are all subjective, and what I find slow pace and enjoyable might for you be a hindrance or even annoying. So yeah, first of all, get your hands on one, because I had the M9 also before the M8, and that I unfortunately had to let go because of the corrosion of the sensor. If you're able to get a great deal on the Leica M9 with the replaced sensor, I would say go for the M9, especially because it has also a full frame sensor. But I found the speed of the M9 was a bit more acceptable from my memory compared to the M8. I can work with the speed of the M8, but again, your opinion about slowness might differ from what I'm experiencing and find enjoyment in. So that's why I keep saying try it out first, firsthand, and then you can still decide about different other factors, which I will mention now. The first one, as I already said, is the fact that these old cameras are very old and they have their issues which might appear. Mine was that relatively classic dead pixel issue. And from what I understand, it can happen that when the camera doesn't get used as much, that this issue appears. Luckily, this repair for the dead pixel doesn't cost that much. I think it differs in the States a little bit, or depending on the country, but the estimation of $200 is, I think, quite on point, because in the end I paid 170 euros, and that was quite a fair price in my opinion to get this camera up and running again. In Leica terms, I think that's also one of the cheapest service repairs you can get on a Leica M body. The second issue which can occur on the Leica M8 specifically is that the shutter might need some kind of replacement because it gets damaged. I think that's might be due to the reason of the higher shutter speed of Leica M8. Here you have to know that there are two different versions of the Leica M8. The normal Leica M8, which has a shutter speed of 1/8000th of a second, which is mine here. You can see on the shutter speed dial that that's 1/8000th of a second. The revised version of the Leica M8, the M8 II, only has the shutter speed of 1/4000th of a second. And I read a lot that people speculate that the higher shutter speed on the original M8 might have caused these kinds of shutter issues or damages. But if you are all aware about these kinds of topics, I think the Leica M8 is just an amazing camera, also in 2025, for two specific reasons. The first one is, of course, that this camera is a Leica M camera. The shooting experience is, in my opinion, basically the same if you compare it with a Leica M2 or a Leica M11. I'm consciously not mentioning the M3 because, in my opinion, the M3 has a very specific and enjoyable shooting experience thanks to the magnification of the viewfinder of 0.91, or most rangefinders have a magnification of 0.75. But again, having this Leica M8, regarding the shooting experience, leaving the speed aside, it's very similar to more modern Leica M's, like as I mentioned the M11, or looking to film cameras, the Leica M2, Leica MP, Leica M8, and so on. The second reason is just, in my opinion, the files of the Leica M8, the images you get of this camera, and starting to edit them, they just look very beautiful in my opinion. I know that colors and editing is very subjective, but that's something I just find amazing, that all these old cameras, not only Leica cameras, but older DSLRs and so on, regarding image quality and colors, they hold up quite nicely against all the currently modern flagships, in my opinion. And I think most people, especially when you only share on social media, you won't notice any kind of image quality drop with this 10 megapixel sensor. I think I'm still in a kind of a honeymoon phase with my returned Leica M8, especially with this 40mm focal length 1.2 lens. I enjoy it very much shooting with both these lenses. This for more or less an everyday carry lens, since it's that small and compact, and this just for the nice bokeh shots paired with the crop sensor on the Leica M8. As I said, I get roughly a 50mm field of view, and I think that's should be enough for quick update rant about my Leica M8. I know that a lot of you have reached out and asked if my M8 has returned, if I still have it, and if it's working or not. That's why I thought I will just make a quick update video about the Leica M8 and share you my experience regarding the repair progress, and as I said, also the price, and my thoughts about this camera in the current year. And I'm quite curious how many of you watching this video do own the Leica M8, especially here on YouTube. I think there's a big fan base about this old and OG digital Leica M camera. Okay, let's just wrap this up. I hope this update was useful to you. Let me know in the comments if you are still an M8 shooter. Which lenses do you use on your Leica M8, and what do you love about your Leica M8, let me know down below. I will definitely make more videos about the M8, I guess more photo walk shooting style or POV style, just taking this camera out and create images. And that's the purpose of all these cameras, right? And yeah, stay tuned for these kinds of videos. If you're still here until this point, thank you very much for your time watching. You are the one who deserves the like for that. If you want to support my small little channel, just click the links below in the description or buy me a coffee. Link is also in the description. And if you're curious why I call this camera a Leica Q Mini, just click on this video to find out.